Jacinda Chen.
Hello, I'm Shirley Chen.
Hi, I'm Howard.
And our team's project is on how do applicants' academic backgrounds affect U.S. grad schools admission rate. And starting off with our motivation. And as our graduation approaches, all three of our group members are in preparation to apply to graduate schools. So we decided to research on how undergrad students' education backgrounds impact grad schools admission rate.
The past studies use logistic regression and has shown that students with a better SOP has a higher chance of being admitted. Also, as the university rating increased, the chance of being admitted also increased. And here on the slides, these are some ideal stats concluded from the previous studies.
Here's our goal. After proper pre-processing of our data, we try to predict admission rates through linear regression and decision tree models. This is an overview of our data. We have TOEFL, GRE, and a lot other independent variables that could possibly affect the chance of admit. We first do a heat map on the data to find out the magnitude of collinearity between different variables. We notice that GRE score and TOEFL, SOP, and LOR are highly correlated. However, because no perfect collinearity is found, and it's important to keep more information in the independent variables. For further analysis, we decide to keep all the independent variables. Our first model is a linear regression. We treat admission rate as Y variable and other variables as the explaining variables. For the pre-processing, we standardized all the independent variables using max-min standardization. To get a better intuition of the model, we use the summary function from OLS in Python. As it suggests, the GPA has the highest positive influence on admission rate, followed by research and letter recommendation. To validate our model, we test the accuracy of training data and testing data, which are about 0.8 and 0.7. They're pretty high, so we can safely use our model to do further analysis. Our second model is decision tree. For the pre-processing, we convert the admission rate to discrete integers from 0 to 9, where, for example, 8 represents an admission rate between 80% and 90%, so that we can better use the decision tree model. We use grid search theory to find the best possible parameters for the decision tree and train the model using that parameters. We try to plot the tree, but the tree gets too big and we can't see what's inside of each node. So we'll use test cases to better illustrate later. To validate our decision tree model, we also tested the accuracy of training and testing data. The testing accuracy is a bit low here. This might be caused by how we generalize the admission rates into discrete integers. However, it is still very helpful in predicting whether admission rate can greatly increase or decrease. We'll use test cases to illustrate later.
We did 2 case studies to examine which factors determine the graduate admission the most. For the first case study, we mainly focused on university rating. Student 1 acts as a control group with university rating of 5, while student 2 has a university rating of 1. We keep the other variables constant. As we can see, student 1 is more likely to be admitted. Then we analyzed how student 2 can improve upon him or herself to achieve a higher possibility of being admitted. Here are 4 suggestions for student 2 based on the linear regression model. Overall, if student 2 increase either TOEFL, GRE, or CGPA, he or she will have a higher chance of being admitted. Research experience would also help just in a minor way.
And so as mentioned before, our linear regression model suggested that GPA is the most important factor, and we wanted to see if our decision tree model proves the same. So here in this case study, student 1 has a cumulative GPA of 9, and with all the other parameters being the same, student 2 has a cumulative GPA of 8. And the student 1 has the chance of admit from 70% to 80%, while student 2's chance of admission is only 60% to 70%. So here's the suggestions, and student 2 will have to improve all the other parameters to the highest number possible to improve the chance of admit, but will still stay in the range of 60% to 70%. Therefore, it is reasonable to say that no matter how much student 2 improve, his chance of admit would still be not as good as student 1 because of his lower GPA. And our decision tree model further emphasized the importance of having a decent cumulative GPA to have a higher chance of being admitted.
Conclusion: our study presents similar results from the past studies. We conclude that city GPA is the most important factor affecting grad school admission rate. University rating also plays a role in positively affecting admission rate. GRE, TOEFL, and research all positively affect admission rate, but just in a minor ways. The limitation of our study is that our dataset is a little bit small. So if we have a bigger dataset, our results would be more accurate.
Thank you.